Blessings and gratitude to everyone who is joining us with us right now today live. And
yay! Hi guys.
Hi. Hello everyone.
We are grateful. Thank you so much for sharing your time and energy with us today. Welcome to the Live Your Highest Truth podcast. This is our second episode. My name is Krystle Mishra. And
my name's McClean.
And
I am.
Yeah, go ahead.
Should I? I am Mariposa, Acalde.
Yes, we are so grateful and honored to have Mariposa here as our very first guest for episode 2. So thank you, Mariposa. Like truly grateful for the world to hear your wisdom. I'll just do a very quick intro to Mariposa. She is from Mexico. She has been studying yoga since the age of 10 years old. She comes from a family of yogis, and she's going to express a little bit more about that soon. And has traveled the world, primarily in South America and Asia. She got her yoga teacher training completed in 2017 in Thailand, and since then has been holding ceremony and workshops for breathwork and Tantra. And I know from the various testimonials I've seen that people have experienced immense transformation from some of your workshops. So thank you so much for your presence here today.
My pleasure, sister. I feel so excited to be here with you and everyone that is watching us right now to just really share what has changed my life, and really invite everyone to inspire a lot of us to connect with that inner medicine.
Yeah, our topic for today is called Master Your Breath, Master Your Life. And we truly want to explore, all the power and wisdom that comes from breathwork and pranayama. Pranayama is a Sanskrit word, prana meaning your vital life force, and yama meaning expansion and control. And, these techniques have the power to transform and heal both your mental, emotional, and physical illnesses, and really accessing as well a superpower that we all have inside of us. So we want to explore and share this wisdom with everyone tuning in today, especially with, the state of the world right now, and, many people moving through, shifting through maybe heavy experiences in their life. We really hope that this will empower you and give you some tools and wisdoms to really heal any suffering and also really connect to your superpower. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for being here with us, Mariposa.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to share.
So yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I
kind of just wanted to give a little bit of background on how Mariposa kind of came to the show or the podcast. So I've been living in Mexico, and a couple of months ago, I think it was, we did a tantric conscious sexuality course. It was like a weekend course, and me and Mariposa were there together. And so, we kind of connected on that day, and we found out we lived closer to each other, and then we started collaborating on some workshops and things down in Mexico, and I played for one of her breathwork classes, and we just kind of have been connected ever since. We did photo shoots in the cenotes.
Yeah.
So Mariposa lives in Playa del Carmen, which is in Mexico. It's a beautiful area down on the Maya Riviera, and we've been kind of looking at ways to collaborate ever since. So that's kind of a bit of a background on how we connected. And then Krystle, was definitely interested in the breath work and the work that you do, and we just thought it was beautiful to have you as our first guest on the Live Your Highest Truth podcast. So exciting. Thank you.
So with that being said, let's start out with a basic definition of what does breath work truly mean? For somebody who has heard about this but has never really practiced it, how would you introduce someone to breath work?
So the way I will introduce people into breathwork, so breathwork is pretty much, it comes from pranayama. So as you said, I'm controlling your breath, and like pranayama, it's so big. There's loads of different kind of pranayamas, like, and we can still discover different kinds of pranayamas. So what does breathwork is like you do a combinations of pranayamas, but like longer than 30 minutes. So you do like, as the word says, like breath work. So you actually pick a specific kind of pranayama and you do it for like around an hour to 40 minutes. And each pranayama has different benefits. Like it's so infinitive, as I said, how the breath can really tap into your biology, because pretty much the breath is one of the only things we can control. We cannot really control our life. We cannot control a lot of things, but we can control our breath. So from that space, we can actually tap into different kind of organ if you want to activate each kind of organ, because all of our organs has different rhythms. Everything has a rhythm. So it depends on the chakra. If you want to activate a specifically chakra, you do a specific pranayama, and if you want to do more intense, it comes into a breath work. So you do longer than around 30 minutes, a specific breath.
And pranayama comes from the Yoga Sutras. So it's one of the 8 limbs of yoga. And as we, from my understanding, you know, as we master our breath, so we, reverting back a little bit, our breathing patterns we learn from our childhood, you know, so our environment and our experiences from our childhood is really how we start to have these breathing patterns that we almost become like addicted to. And what I mean by that is most people out there are probably breathing into their chest. And what we should be doing is breathing deep into our belly. When we breathe deep into our belly, we're getting more oxygen and more energy up into the brain. And so, you know, my yoga teacher used to say, shallow breaths, shallow thoughts, deeper breaths, deeper thoughts. So could you expand maybe a little bit more on some of these breathing patterns and how we even, you know, got to some of how we started breathing so shallow in the first place and how we can start making that transition?
Yeah, I love that you touch into this point, because yes, we were born using 100% of our breath. We forgot. Right now we use around 10%. That is the averages. So actually the correctly way to breathe is through your diaphragm, through your belly, opening your ribs and opening your chest. And we were born, as I said, breathing right. That's why babies have a big belly, because they actually bring their belly out. But we start to go through life, and we start to close up a little bit, because we start to close up our heart. We start to get scared. They tell us to push our belly in because women look more beautiful with a flat belly. Just a lot of things that we actually do subconscious, because we live in a system that it's really masculine, that is a go, 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 do. And we are most of the time outside of ourselves, that we really forgot how to come back to our 100% of our breath. So yes, I mean, yoga touch a lot about these points, and this is nothing that is really new. Like our ancestors used to do a lot of breath work. Maybe they didn't call it breath work, they used to call it a different way, but this is nothing that is like new that we just like find out. This is coming, we're really remembering an ancestral knowledge.
Yeah, beautiful.
I remember reading when I was doing a breathwork session, it was actually with inner engineering with Sadhguru, and that's when the very first time I got exposed to what healthy breathing looks like. And within a minute, a healthy person is usually breathing somewhere between 6 to 11 breaths a minute, from my understanding. An an unhealthy person, maybe somebody who's highly stressed, is probably breathing somewhere 12 breaths or more a minute, and therefore causing the body to go into higher states of stress. And what else that I learned that I thought was quite interesting is that trees in the environment, they usually breathe as slow as 3 breaths a minute. So if we aligned our breath to that of the frequency of the earth and of nature, we are really tapping into a superpower. Yeah.
I love that you said that. And like we oxygen, we inhale oxygen and we exhale carbon dioxide. Trees inhale carbon dioxide and they exhale oxygen. So when I actually realized this, I was like, wait, like we're actually making love to nature. Like we are like inhaling and exhaling, like it's just so beautiful. And this comes back into parasympathetic nervous system and sympathetic nervous system. So when you slow down and your breath are longer, you connect with your parasympathetic nervous system, where you are in the state of being more receptive, more in that digestion mode, more into your magnetic, more into this feminine side of ourselves. And sympathetic nervous system, it's a system that is fight or flight, like it's like do. That is great also. Like the sympathetic nervous system, it helps us to actually survive. If a lion is gonna go get us, we get scared and then we run. So we activate that. But the thing is that we are actually living in a life where it's constantly connecting us with the sympathetic nervous system, where we're like constantly in a fight or flight mode. We're just like, as soon as we wake up, we're like, go. And then people that really cannot sleep, insomnia, is because they cannot even connect with their parasympathetic nervous system. They cannot even relax anymore because they're so addicted to be doing, thinking. We're like, that's why meditation is so important.
Yeah. Could you expand on the vagus nerve? Because this was something that I also have been learning recently, about how our breathing actually stimulates the vagus nerve, and how is that related, especially for many people right now who are moving through, some stress and anxiety. It's the holidays. People tend to feel all kinds of trauma being triggered at this time. So maybe you can expand on that, because I find this very fascinating.
Oh my God, it's so fascinating, the vagus nerve. Yes. So the vagus nerve is the longest nerve, and it's the one that connect all the nerves. And usually when we actually connect with our parasympathetic nervous system, that is like, we take long deep inhales and you exhale deeply, you are telling to your vagus nerve that you are safe. So when you feel safe, your organs feel safe, they relax. They can just become more like into this, relaxed state. And that's when everything starts circulated in a better way, in a nerve system in all different kind of ways. So actually another way to really connect with your vagus nerve, it's your voice. So just able to do that, it's because the vagus nerve is connected to your throat chakra deeply, and your creative, and your sexual, your Swadhisthana chakra. So, and then you're telling your body like, like I'm safe, relax, and your whole physical system starts to really work in a different way when you feel safe.
Beautiful. Love that. I feel like everyone who's watching are probably just taking some deep breaths right now. Even I'm like breathing more than I have all day just right now in this moment.
Me too.
Feels so good. Together. So
I love that you said about feeling safe, because I recently was reading about how it's the body that actually needs to feel safe more than the mind. And when the body actually feels safe, it can actually adapt to any environment, and it calms the mind and the thought patterns. And as well. And I was thinking about emotions and how our emotion affects our breathing. And, you know, I recently started, as I'm sure both of you also practice, taking cold baths or cold showers, and just being aware of my own breathing. So when we are feeling angry, we have very short breaths. When we're feeling sad, our breathing is erratic. When we're shocked, our breathing just stops. We hold our breath. It constricts us. So the practice of taking cold baths or cold plunges allows your body to go into shock, and you start practicing this deeper breathing, and it actually energizes every single cell. We get oxygen to like all of our cells. We are getting oxygen and fresh blood to like every organ. And we start opening up all the nadi channels. Nadis are energy pathways that are in our entire bodies, and we have a lot that are actually in our face. So, you know, the benefits just go and go. And where I'm leading to is, if we practice a lot of conscious breathing, we have the capacity to access the body's inner DMT. And this is something I don't know a lot about. I mean, I know a little bit, but I know that this is something that is very close to your heart, Mariposa. So what is DMT? And
my God,
I heard you call it a spirit molecule, which I thought was so beautiful. Of this very sacred part of the human body.
Yeah. So DMT lives in everything that has life. So DMT, it lives in plants, it lives in animals, it lives in the environment. Everything that has life has DMT. And we have DMT within ourselves in our glandular pineal. So DMT, as I said, this is nothing new. Our ancient ancestors, they used to talk about this beautiful molecular that is located in the glandular pineal. That is, the spirit molecular. Why? Because the DMT, it connects you directly with the spirit. It has it like access where you literally either activate it within yourself through your own breath, or a lot of people take ayahuasca. Bufo has DMT. There's lots of medicines that has DMT because, as I said, DMT is in a lot of plants. So I'm really fascinated, and that's how breath came into my life, because I was really into like DMT in general. Like I used to take it in the outside because I was amazed by how I can really activate and remember who I was with using something. So I was studying a lot of like DMT, the molecular, and then I did like a pranayama, that this was like a really short breath work that it took me directly there. And that's when literally my life changed. That's actually when Mariposa, my spiritual name, came into my life, when I realized that I have DMT within myself, that I opened my wings and I became free without depending nothing in the outside. And since that moment, I've been huge transformation experience.
Beautiful. I love that you brought that up, because when I did your class too down in Mexico, I took one of Mariposa's breathwork classes. I'd only done one breathwork class before, so I'm fairly new to it. I'm like, why haven't I been doing this all the time? Like, it's in my wheelhouse. I'm just not connected to it. You know, there's so much out there. And I was like, when we went through the breathwork, Mariposa was sharing that that when we all of the different ways that our bodies can react to the breath work, like your face starts twitching, all different modalities, like different little areas happening. And I started feeling like energy, like the energy coming through my hands, like tingling through my hands. And it was actually reminded me of when I had a Kundalini awakening, where my hands were tingling, my legs were tingling, the top of my head was tingling, because I was connected directly to source in that moment. And it felt the same when I was doing the breath work. Like my hands had pins and needles coming out of it, and like my energy was connecting like that. It was so amazing. So yeah, it's such a,
oh my God,
so powerful.
It's amazing. And I love that you touch on the point, Krystle, of why cold showers, because actually the breath work. So I create my own breath work that is Respira tu Amor breath work. where it's inspiring Wim Hof. So I'm so fascinated by this beautiful man, what he's actually doing, because I mean, he didn't invent this breath work, but he's bringing it into the science. He's proving into the science that you actually are the alchemist of your own chemistry. And there's so much science behind that cold shower, because you actually activate adrenaline, you know, like, like your body's in like, what's happening to us? So what that happens, all of these good stuff, stem cells, like all of these good things that is being searching for like a moment when it's like in danger kind of a thing, and you're tricking your body. It's like, oh my god, we're in danger, we are in a cold weather, like what's happening? And then all this good stuff start to flush your whole body, and that's when you are actually able to like really manage your temperature, like go longer without breathing, like doing like pretty much superpowers that we all have it within ourselves. But it's like just connecting with that surviving mode a little bit. We are living at such a comfort zone constantly, like it's so comfort, where when you actually go to nature and like you live in that state, just coming back into that space also, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that he says we don't need a pill, we don't need a medical pill, because we have our breath. I just love that about him, that he has, and you know, and he's working with doctors, he's working with scientists, he's working with medical professionals, and you know, and that's what I think is so powerful, is, you know, bridging the science and the spirituality together.
Oh my god, it's beautiful. I just he's like one of my teachers, like literally. I love listening to him and just his inspiration and his like theory, and how he's actually bringing it into the science, you know, like he's actually telling the doctors like, hey, I am my own medicine. And obviously they're like, no way, you need to depend of a pill and things. Like, no, I will prove you that I am my own medicine. So like doctors are actually like injecting him like virus where everyone will be sick, but he breathed in a specific rhythm where like his immune system got so strong that nothing happened to him. And the doctors are like, wait, what? You are a superhero. This is not such a thing. He's like, no, let me bring all my students. And like they did the same thing to a couple of students where they just did a specific breath work. Their immune system came so strong where like nothing happened to them, you know. So that the power of the breath and the mind also.
Yeah, it's just bringing you back to life, you know, instead of sitting there, we're all on our computers every day, just small shallow breaths. It's literally like the envisioning of it, of just sitting still on your computer is like you're pretty much dead. There's no movement, there's no breathing, it's all shallow. So crazy. What are we doing with our lives? Let's go out and frolic in the field.
Why weren't we taught this as children? Why weren't we taught this as a young age and throughout every course of our life? Because look what we're dealing with right now, right? I mean, look at, you know, the world is threatened by something that is now affecting our lungs and our breathing. And you touched on something that is really important, that is probably the number one message I want people to take away from this, is how it can strengthen naturally, the power of strengthening our immune system. And you know, Wim Hof and many other teachers have spoken about this in great detail, about our capacity to strengthen our immune system. So thank you for making that point.
We are the medicine.
I also had a friend too. He actually got COVID. He was in New York and he started going to a breathwork class. I think he was going more for maybe the intimacy of it energetically, and he was self-admitting, yeah, I'm a man, and I'm, you know, I went in for a different reason, but what he got out of it was so much more. So when he had ended up getting COVID, he said that the breath work saved his life because he could not breathe, and he started using the techniques that he learnt from the breathwork class, and actually overcame the COVID because of the breath work. He couldn't walk up the staircase properly, like really bad. And the breath work, he attributes the breath work to saving his life when he had COVID and couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's literally saving. Yeah. It's so beautiful because it's your inner medicine. Like I always love to encourage people to become free. You know, like you are free. You actually can tap into first your biology, and you can heal yourself. And second, you can connect with your DMT, and you can remember that you are God. So this is the beautiful part of it, where like you're actually connecting your physical body, this 3-dimensional realm that we actually choose to be on, to remember that you are an infinite and like multidimensional being living a human experience. It's so easy to forget. And you get into this auto-hypnosis state with your own breath, when you're like, wait, I'm actually not this physical body. This physical body is such a game. I am more than that. So the connection every day, like I do breath work, I mean, every day, because it's so easy to forget, you know, like during the day, you get caught into the outside, into doing, into having, into relationships, into taking everything so personal, where like having a spiritual practice is really take the time to come inwards and remember that you are just a multidimensional being. And for me, the easiest way to get there is with the breath. Like I've done a lot of things. I've done like month silence retreat. I've done a lot of things. Like breath for me, it's in 5 minutes, I can remember who I am.
That direct connect straight away.
Direct.
So good. I love it.
Oh.
So beautiful.
Mariposa, when you're mentioning the pineal gland and DMT, for anybody who might not be aware of this, the pineal gland is our third eye, and it's kind of located like right around here inside the brain.
So the pineal gland, it's actually like a tiny little gland that it looks like a pineapple that is in the middle of the brain, and that actually connects with our Ajna chakra, that is our sixth chakra. And that's like literally the intuition, like is directly to the Ajna, and it's actually connected to the Sahasrara. So it's the seventh chakra. And they still studying, like there's so much philosophy about this beautiful molecular that really no one really tell us in the school or nothing, but all this information is coming out slowly. So yeah, it's just like a gland. It's so small, and it connects you with straight with God. I don't want to say God, like I want to say maybe to your higher self, like to the spirit world that is within. But sometimes it's so hard to perceive the spirit world. You know, we can perceive the emotional body, we can perceive the mental body, we can perceive the physical body, but when it comes into the spiritual body, just like, wait, how do I feel that? Should I go to church? Should I go into a religion? Should I like, what is this? So for me, the beautiful way to connect directly to the spirit is connected through that to that DMT or that pineal gland, through different ways. For me, what I resonate the most is the breath, but definitely there's like a lot of ways to actually activate that.
The first breathwork class that I did it kind of at home, and I think it was during COVID with, have you heard of the breath, I think it's the Breath Center in Ohio here. The guy that leads it, his name's Michael Brian Baker.
Oh yeah.
So he, I did one of his classes, and I think that was the first one I ever did. And I remember just laying in like a cocoon, and I had my like a kind of like a sleeping bag kind of energy just inside myself. When I went deep into his class, I did not want to get out. I just felt like I was just held in the mother's womb, in that expanded connection of spirit and source energy that we all are. And I was just like, do I have to leave now? Like, I don't want to get out of this. Like, it was so beautiful. So it was definitely that direct, connect to source as well. Beautiful. But I did I did that physically by myself. So it was a bit different to yours. But when we completed with your breathwork class, and we were in a group, which is beautiful and powerful too, at the end of it, we're all just crying, connecting. Just the connection to spirit is so like poignant when we're all together, and we're all just eye gazing into each other, all connected, crying, and all there is in the space is that unconditional love energy. It's just such a beautiful, experience. So I can see how when you're practicing it every day, you know, that can be, you know, your morning practice, and then the whole day you're just, you know, tapped in.
Oh my God.
So good.
And that's a powerful tool for parents, you know, parents with young children who are maybe experiencing frustration or you know, stress, teaching them from childhood. And also just creating more intimacy. You know, breathwork can be done in the workplace, can be done in partnerships, you know, before an intimate interaction with family members. You know, when I had this one experience in Los Angeles when I did inner engineering with Sadhguru about 2 years ago. There were 2,000 people, and we all learned a very particular pranayama while we were there. And we were 2,000 of us breathing at the same frequency. And I cannot till this day verbalize what was happening in that room. I mean, some people were having what seemed like a cosmic orgasm, in the sense where they were just exuded with this feeling of ecstasy. Some people were completely calm. There was just a lot of release and a lot of grounding, but it was an activation or an initiation of some sorts. And I remember coming back home after that experience and having the most mental clarity. There's no words to even describe it, because it's really beyond the mind. I had so much clarity between the way my body was moving, what I understood my body needed, what kind of food it wanted, what kind of rest it wanted. And I just had this intuition of where I needed to go. I was always in the right time. There was so much synchronicity. And this is coming after spending most of my 20s not having any clue about breath work, being primarily in a state of stress and anxiety and rushing. You know, I've rushed doing everything and thinking that was completely normal. And so this is something, yes, of course you need to practice, but you can feel the effects of it immediately. And that's something I have no awareness
instant.
of.
Instant. Yes. I remember growing up, my mum, we used to walk, and I was always rushing, like you were just saying. I felt like I felt like I was late for life. Everything I started late. And so I remembered always just rushing. And my mum's just stopping and smelling the flowers. I said, Mum, there's no time to literally stop and smell the flowers. Let's go. I'm like running late, like it's just on some imaginary clock. So I can imagine that was me as a young adult or a teenager, if I had breath work of just actually in the practice together. And Mum was doing it, but we didn't have the practice, or that we're not talking about it, or, you know, having that support with each other.
And we have like stale oxygen, right? I mean, that's what breath work is also really important, is getting rid of some stale oxygen and getting prana and activating and alkalizing our blood in our prana. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I don't think people even realize that's a thing. I didn't even know we had stale oxygen and stale blood in our body.
Old breath. Let's get it on.
Yeah, totally. So this is so amazing, because wait, I just forgot what I'm gonna say. The oxygen. Yeah, I mean, so what it does actually is like you are bringing new oxygen, but the most important thing is that you are flushing energy into your body. So you are actually bringing oxygen in spaces where there's not oxygen before. So that's the magic part of it. Like actually, there's two organs that need the most oxygen. That is your brain and your heart. And the most powerful part of it is like, when you're actually like this flush of oxygen, it goes into your brain when you actually do neuroplasticity. The neuroplasticity is actually, you can change your brain. Like you can, this is science proof, like you can actually change the shapes of your brain. Like you don't need like any tools to open your brain to do change. Like through your oxygen, you can actually flush that. And yes, like it's not really like getting rid of like oxygen. It's more like flushing that energy and bringing oxygen into spaces where oxygen doesn't reach, and then bring and move toxins out, you know, like like really, and bringing oxygen into the spaces. That's why hands go like this, like bringing oxygen in spaces where there's never like so much oxygen. Like literally, oxygen is a medicine. Like it's definitely the medicine. And the beautiful part of my like the Wim Hof breath work, or my breath work, is that there's actually, so the rhythm is like you actually bring a lot of oxygen into your body using 100% of your breath, right? From your belly to your ribs to the upper chest, like like full breath. And then you exhale, you empty your lungs, and then you hold your breath as much as you can with no oxygen. So what happens in those moments? You're actually releasing stem cells. I don't know if people is familiar with stem cells, but people go to the hospital and they inject stem cells, super expensive, because the stem cells are the only cells that they can convert into other cells. So if you need a specific cells in parts of your body, stem cells will actually be those cells. So when you come into this hypoxia intermittent, and it's when you exhale and you empty your lungs and you hold your breath, is when stem cells live with no oxygen. So stem cells are coming out and literally like regenerate your body. And this is science proof too. Like Wim Hof is literally, this is when Wim Hof is actually becoming the alchemist of your own chemistry, not just him, all of us, but this is what he's proven into the science. And then, so retentions, kumbhaka in the yogi world are like, for me, I love them so much, because so there's a retention on the exhale, and then there's a retention on the inhale. And this is when Tantra comes. That's why I personally combine Tantra and breathwork together. And this was because I started to really realize that this breathwork is really tantric. So because what we do in Tantra, what we do is we use that creative life force energy, our second chakra. That is where we create the life, but like as energy, right? So we use this creative life force energy and we flush it, we sublime it for more spiritual purposes. So if people is related to the chakras, you use your first and second chakra that is more primal, is more physical body, is more this three-dimensional realm, and you flush that into more spiritual purposes. That is the upper chakra. So, and that's Tantra. Tantra is like we use your sexual energy for more spiritual purpose. And that's when people have these bliss states, like people call it orgasms, but it's full body orgasm. And I'm certified Tantra teacher too. And an orgasm is actually seconds of enlightenment. That's why we're also attached of orgasm. So you're literally God for seconds, you know? So like bringing that energy up and being in that state of like full ecstasy for minutes, you know, to be like, fuck, like I'm God and I am the creator of my reality. You know, you empower yourself again. Like you come back after these journeys, people are like, wait, what? I was just like upset about something so small. I've been creating stories about this, and like I'm fucking God.
That reminds me of the that's where Marvin Gaye wrote the song Sexual Healing. You're literally using sex as an actual healing through the breath work and connecting. It's so good.
Yeah.
Sexual healing. It's good for us.
I was reading about, I'm not a singer, like Maya, you are. And it's so important for singers.
Wait, what is so important for singers? Oh, the oxygen. Yeah.
Breathing and the breath. Yes. And learning
breathing from your diaphragma.
Yeah. One more note. I think we want to do a demonstration of a type of breath work, but one more note I want to make that I think is important is about emotion. So we trap emotions in our body primarily within our solar plexus. And that's between, I think it's the second and fourth chakra. So between like the sacral and the heart chakra. That's why breathing into our belly in and out is so powerful for moving those trapped emotions that actually, you know, really keep us repeating trauma patterns as well. I know that there's a deep connection there. So, you know, there's mental, physical, and emotional benefits of breath work. And, you know, there's I mean, we can only cover so much in the short time that we're here together, but how much our emotions impact our breathing, and how breathing into your belly can really clear up, you know, those trapped deep feelings of trauma that we're holding, and we hold it primarily in our solar plexus.
Totally, Bev. I love that you touched that point, because yes, we hold emotions since we're little, because we are used to repress emotions, because society tell us not to scream, not to cry, not to shake, and these are the three ways to actually release an emotion. Like animals do it, you know, like a doggy just shakes and he keeps going. So animals actually know, they, if you see a dog, they breathe through the diaphragm. So breath, as we say, like when you bring a lot of oxygen into your body, it can activate emotions that are being stored in specific parts of your cells for years. That's why people start crying, and they don't even know why are they crying into these journeys, because they're just, it's beyond story. It's just they touch emotion that is being repressed for so long, and then boom, the only way to really release an emotion is feel it again, embrace it, like go for it, and then you're released. So yes.
Yeah. So powerful. I can't wait to do some more. So yeah, did you want to do your demonstration for everyone that's watching here so they can experience it?
I would love to. So the most important thing, it's like everyone get into a sitting position for now, but the most important part is like straight your back. So you can either put yourself like in the back of a wall, or putting a cushion under your hips just to keep that spine straight. We are going to come back to breathe 100% of our lungs capacity. As I said, we literally forgot how to breathe. So our breath divides in three parts. 30% is our diaphragm, 60% is our middle chest, our rib cage, and 10% is our upper chest. We just use upper chest. So we're gonna come back to breathe 100%. So first, let's all bring our right hand into our belly. And when you inhale, you bring your belly out as a balloon. Inhale, belly out. And exhale, belly in. And I invite everyone to open your mouth to connect with your vagus nerve, and exhale. Yes. So inhale, belly out. And exhale. Yes. Inhale, belly out as a balloon. Huge belly, and exhale. Beautiful. Now hands to your ribs, and we're gonna push your ribs to the sides, just like an accordion when you inhale. Ready? So inhale, ribs to the sides, ribs, open your rib cage, and exhale. Yes. Inhale, ribs to the sides, and exhale.
And everyone at home, keep doing this with us.
Oh, yes, please. Inhale,
don't just watch us, do it.
No, do it. Yes, exhale. You need to experience this, everyone. So now it's 10% upper chest, and it's so easy. You bring your shoulders up and you do like a short breath. Perfect. Now we're going to do some rounds using 100% of your lungs capacity, and we're going to do some retentions, and I'm going to be guiding the whole part. So let's take a long deep inhale, belly out, ribs to the sides, open your chest, breathe a little bit more, and exhale. Inhale, ribs to the sides, belly out, ribs to the sides, open your chest, breathe a little bit more, and exhale. Let's keep breathing this way, okay? In, using 100% of your lungs capacity, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In,
Oh, she got cut off.
Oh no. Oh.
Mariposa! I'm already feeling like my head getting like
lighter
energy into my brain. I can feel it all tingling right now.
Me too. Okay, all
Let me
around.
check in with her and make sure she can get back in. Hang on.
I'm here. Let's get
Oh, there
into
she
it
is.
again.
There she is.
Okay, let's do it.
Perfect.
Let's do it again. Okay, in,
Okay.
out, in, out, in, out, in, out. We're not gonna keep doing this, but with your mouth open. Ready? In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Let's take a long deep inhale and exhale. Empty your lungs and hold your breath with no air. Hold your breath. Hold, hold, hold. Empty your lungs. Everyone do it together with me. Hold your breath there. Close your eyes. Hold your breath beyond your comfort zone. This is when you are the alchemist of your own chemistry. This is when you are activating stem cells. You're alkalining your blood. Stay here beyond your comfort zone. When you give a pause to your breath, you give a pause to your life. Whenever you cannot hold anymore, you're going to take a long deep inhale and hold your breath on the inhale, and you're going to squish your genitals, squish your perineum, and you're going to picture a golden light coming from your root chakra all the way into your glandular pineal in the center of your brain, activating the magical spiritual molecular that connects you with the divine, bringing this golden light in your third eye. Hold as much as you can. This is when you can connect with your superpowers. Whenever you cannot hold anymore, just exhale. And then stay here with your eyes closed, feeling the effects. Just feel this moment. And just feel the power of your breath, where it can take you so fast into no mind, no body, just being here now. Whenever you feel ready, you can slowly open your eyes, coming back.
Thank you.
Thank you, darling. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so this is something that everyone can do, like really in your morning practice. Just take long, deep inhales and exhale. You can do like 30, you can do 5 minutes. You can just do, when I say 30 breaths, inhales and exhales, or 5 minutes, or inhales and exhales, and then exhale, empty your lungs, hold your breath, and then inhale and hold your breath. And then you can combine these with cold showers. Like after you do this round, you can either go into ice pool, or you can just take a really cold shower, and you'll feel so energized
And high, like
and high.
Yeah, those locks, we call it the bandhas in Sanskrit. And I think that the anal lock is called the mula bandha. I think I might be wrong there, but
Yeah,
that's funny. She said the genital, squeezing the genitals when you're holding the breath.
That's like I only know a tiny bit about it, but the tiny bit that I do know about it is I know that there are transformational properties of when we actually practice the breath work with the bandhas, with the locks, and it has the power of increasing our creative sexual energy and moving our vital life force up and up the spine. That's what that lock is about. It moves all that energy up the spine. So thank you for bringing that up, because that's really important.
Oh my God, bandhas. I love bandhas. Like I love bringing Mula Bandha into it because it's just like, it creates that, it kind of like flush that energy deeper into up. That's why in Tantra, we use a lot of bandhas because you're activating that creative life force energy. And then when you bring that intention into your third eye, you're actually activating all of the chakras, like you're activating your lowest chakras into your upper chakras. And then I love that you spoke about the nadis too. That's why doing movement practice, either Tai Chi, dancing, or anything that cleans the nadis, so the channels. So when you actually flush that energy up, energy can actually go all the way up. Otherwise, it gets stuck in specific parts of the body that it's like emotions are stuck there. People feel like, oh my God, a lot of people get stuck in their throat chakra, like they actually start to hurt. And it's just like, because the nadi right here is blocked. So when you flush that energy, it gets caught in here. And that's when you like doing a lot of emotional release, shadow work, a lot of that can really clear the nadis.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm laughing right now because I literally feel like I smoked a joint. Like I feel like I'm so blissed out from practicing that breath work. So I'm like feeling really good. Thank you. How can somebody learn more? I mean, I know that you do retreats and workshops. So, you know, what are your offerings like if somebody wanted to learn more about this? Both of you.
Yes. So if you really want to experience a Respirato Amor whole breathwork medicine, you can go to my website, respiratomor.com, and you can book a one-on-one session with me via Zoom. So I offer private sessions online. You can buy actually a breathwork journey where you just literally buy it in my website and you put your earphones, and I'm guiding you through this whole process where you can actually practice this every single day. I have it in English and Spanish. This is more into the like online side. If you wanna, I love working in physical, so I love doing like personal, like physical retreats, and I hold one-on-one retreats where one person can come. It can be really intimate and really personal retreat where I create a whole journey for you using breathwork, tantra, and yoga. That is like the main tools that have changed my life, and other beautiful tools. And I do other retreats. My coming up retreat, it is in Bacalar in the Caribbean side of Mexico, where Maya is actually going to be facilitating. And this is going to be the 25th of February until the 5th of March. It's a week journey combining Jansu, that is water therapy, and Tantra, and obviously like breath work. Always, like all my medicine, everything I share, it has breath work on it because it's a lifestyle that I have. And then I'm actually gonna co-create an amazing retreat with Maya. You want to talk about it, Beth?
Sure. So we brought Mariposa into this 8-day chakra healing retreat. She'll be leading the yoga in the mornings and also breath work and tantra. So that's going to be in the Mayan jungle. We're going to be hosting it at a beautiful eco-friendly resort. We've got like a private cenote. We've got private pools that the water's actually coming through the cenotes. We're going to be doing a cacao ceremony, which is also heart chakra opening. We're going to do temazcal ceremonies, which is held in like a sweat lodge, like the American Indian sweat lodge, but down in Mexico, they call them the temazcals, where that's also going to be a lot of detoxifying of the body and also opening up your throat chakra too. Whenever I do that, it's just like so powerful, though, that type of work too. It's all communal. It's going to be a beautiful, intimate group. We're going to be doing beautiful coaching. I'm going to be offering NLP, mind awakening group sessions for the group. Each day is actually dedicated to a different chakra. So it's just going to be really magical. That's called the Chakra Healing Retreat. So excited to have you with us. Beautiful. And I think we have a couple of people that are tuning in today too, some of our guests. So it's exciting. And if anyone wants to come to that too, of course, hit me up, or Mariposa's retreat too, which is I'm also going to be at. That's going to be magical. So the 8-day chakra healing retreat is March 13th for 8 days. So yeah, we'd love to have anyone that wants to come and taste the medicine and awaken and transform in awesome different ways.
Yeah,
I love it.
Thank you. Do we have any questions, Maya, for anyone who might be tuning in this live?
I just wanted to check in. I was kind of trying to respond to people, but I couldn't while we were live because then it would bring the the audio back in. But let's have a look whether there's anyone here. If anyone has any questions, also you can write in Facebook right now for Mariposa or any of the topics. Brenda Bravo said mushrooms feel like they activate DMT, which I definitely that's possible. And then Kelly said, good night. Good night, Maya. This is my cousin tuning in. Beautiful. Yeah, Marco was on here. He's coming to the retreat with us, Mariposa. So he said, wanting people to come to the retreat, telling people to come. I'm just trying to open it up. It feels like it's kind of stuck here. I can't get to any of the past comments. But if anyone has any questions too, you can message me and I can pass any on to Mariposa, or you can hit her up on her site, or Krystle too. Just hit anyone up directly, and we can keep the conversation going.
Yeah, feel free to reach out. So I'm primarily available on Instagram, and I'll take my Instagram in the comments below. And Mariposa, what's the best way to connect with you?
Yes, so you can either follow me on Instagram, mariposa.alcalde, or just go to my website, respiratomor.com. And whoever doesn't know what respiratomor means, it's actually breathe your own love. So that's the main purpose that I want to bring into people, that you are your own medicine. And through just breathing the love that is within yourself, you will remember who you really are. So yeah, that's the best ways. And
thank you.
My pleasure. Yes, sister. Thank you for this beautiful podcast. And I feel so honored to be the first one to be invited.
Thank you. That was
thank you for coming.
Energizing.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to leave everyone with that just one note that was powerful and changed my life. Was when I was in my early 20s, I met Deepak Chopra a long time ago. And I manifested seeing him, and that's a separate story. But he said to me that day, he goes, anything you want in life, intend on it, but let it go. Because anything you hold on to too tightly, like your breath, will end up suffocating you. And I have carried that wisdom with me with everything that I intend on manifesting, is let it go. Because if you hold on to it, it will suffocate you, just like your breath.
Yeah, so true. So
oh my God, I needed to listen to that, because I'm going through a process of grasping some things. So this is such a message for my heart right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let go, surrender. So beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much, Krystle, for your time and energy, and putting this together and co-creating this beautiful experience with us. And thank you, Mariposa, for saying yes and being here with us tonight and sharing your beautiful wisdom. I learned so much, even during the breath work after gaining. I could feel my stem cells, in those moments after getting the knowledge. Yeah. And then once my brain's aware, then so I'm sure everyone watching here and people that will continue watching on the YouTube channel will gain a lot out of it. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Blessings to all. Have a beautiful.
Bye guys, love you all.